Shalom, and welcome to another episode of Lexicon of GMS. My name is Elder Rhymelab, and my reader today is
Elder Gabor.
And we're going to continue on with the words, because right now the main thing that we're trying to get through to you brothers is besides the alphabet of the Hebrew language is also some of these words, the basic words that we go through, and just so that you can get familiar with some of these words. After a while, what we'll do is we'll go through like the construction of some of the words, and basically what we'll do is eventually show you like the construction of some of the words and go through some of the sentences and stuff like that. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get right to it, you know, because this is important. I mean, you're not gonna learn the whole Hebrew language before the Lord comes back. So we're basically right now rehearsing the righteous acts and learning the pure language, as is spoken of in the book of Zephaniah, the 3rd chapter and the 9th verse, that we may all call upon the name of the Lord. So the main importance of the language is the name of the Most High, which is Yahweh, which is He to be, and the name of His Son Yahushai, which is He is the deliverer. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna go through a few words and go through some breakdowns of the words, and I'll take it from there.
Eat.
Right, the first word is eat. Now the word eat is from the Hebrew word akal. That's a, ka, and a la at the end. But now the ka and the la at the end are connected. Like we showed you this in I believe it was the first show. We showed you the separators and the connectors. Now the separator, for lack of better words, is the separator is like a frown, and when you see that symbol underneath one of the words, that means that letter is separate by itself. And the smiley face, so to speak, is when you see that between two letters, that means that those two letters are connected. So the word for eat is akal. A would have the separator, ka la would have the connector, and the a at the end would be dropped. So it would be a, ka, la, or akal together, which means eat. So anywhere where you read in the scriptures and you read the word eat, you're going to see the word akal.
Eden.
Eden. Now the word Eden is from the Hebrew word Idan. Idan. Now Idan or Eden means paradise or joy. Now when you go back to the book of Genesis, the 2nd chapter, when the Most High spoke to Adam, right, when the Most High set up the beginning, when He made the trees and he created the earth, the heavens, the night, the day, the sun, the moon, the stars, and everything under the heavens, what He did was He took the man, which is Adam, and He put him in the garden. Now when He put him in that garden, He said He put him in the garden eastward in Eden, because the whole world as a whole is Eden. The earth, the waters, that's Eden, Idan, paradise or joy. But then within Eden, within that paradise, what happened was the Most High put the man, He took the men that He created, mainly Adam and Eve and the Adamites, and He put them eastward in Eden. He put them in this garden that He created, because that garden was what had the best vegetation. It had the best of everything. It had the best waters, the best rivers, the best lands. And that's why when the Most High gave a separation or an inheritance of, because the word inheritance means the lands, because when the Most High gave those inheritance to these nations, He gave them lands. But the lands that He gave them were the other lands outside of the Garden of Eden. And He gave them their lands first. And then after He gave them their lands, then He put the men, Adam and Eve and the Adamites, or the chosen line, in the Garden of Eden, which is today known as the land of Israel. At one time it was known as the land of Canaan. What was that?
Palestine. Yeah, the Garden of Eden being Palestine.
Right, in Palestine, and that's where He put the man, right, in that garden. So that's what the word Eden means. The word Eden means paradise or joy.
Enemy.
Right, enemy. Now the word enemy is ayabya. Now sometimes when we do the curses, one of the things that we'll use in the curses is ayabyam nawa. Ayabya is enemy. Now when you add a yum at the end, it makes it plural masculine. So ayabyam nawa, nawa at the end being our. Whenever you see the word nawa, na and a wa, nawa at the end of a word, that means our. Ayabyam nawa, our enemies. So the word for enemy is ayabya. So sometimes you'll hear us put up curses on our enemies, and we'll have that actual term ayabya or ayabyam nawa in the curses. You know, because you got these guys out there, you can't curse, you can't put curse. A real curse, according to the scriptures, is talking about wishing bad or putting a prayer of harm on somebody. That's a real curse. The saying shit and all that other stuff, that's not a curse. That's not profanity. All right?
First.
Right, first. Now the word for first in the Hebrew is LASHAWAN. LASHAWAN. Now we went through the letter Ra. The Hebrew letter Ra is from the Hebrew word Ra'ash, which the word Ra'ash means head, right? So now the word LASHAWAN is first, or like in first place, because when you read the book of Genesis, the first chapter and the first verse, the very first thing that you see there is Bara'ashyath. Now Bara'ashyath, Ba is in, Ra'ash is head, and Yath at the end of it makes it plural in the headings. So Ra'ashwan or Ra'ash is Ra'ash is head, and Ra'ashwan is first. Right, then you also have Jeshurun, which is Yasharwan, which also means first.
Fish.
Right, fish. Now the word fish is from the word dag. D, like a da and a ga at the end, dag. Now when you see that word dag, dag or fish is connected. It has a connector on it. Okay, and that's where you get the word fish from. That's why when the Canaanites were worshiping the fish god, they call him what? Dagon, because the word Dagon or the word dag means fish, and that's where they got that whole worship of the. That's why the Most High said, look, don't worship anything that's in the heavens above. Don't worship anything that's in the earth beneath. Don't worship anything that's in the waters, because that's what those nations were doing. They were worshiping the sun for agriculture, for the light. They were worshiping the moon. They were worshiping the stars of the heavens. They were worshiping creatures. They were worshiping hawk-headed gods. That's why the Most High said don't follow after them. So one of the gods that they worshiped was a fish, which was Dag or Dagon, which the so-called Pope today, which by the way the word Pope means door, and the word cardinal means hinges. Now the Pope today, on top of his head, what does he have? A gaping mouth of a fish, which they call it, I believe they call it a mitri, which really they got it from us. Everything that they did, they got it from us, but they put a demonic spin on it, because we weren't wearing no fish heads, you know. But then we did wear the turbans, and the turbans were known as a mitre or the mitri, and it would have the form or a 45-degree angle on the turban itself. That's why, because the Most High always said you had to have the crown of the head exposed, because the scriptures say that a man prophesying ought not to cover his head. Okay?
Forgive, excuse.
Right, forgive or excuse is the word salak. Now, you know, sometimes like a brother might say, I'm sorry, you know, or salakya. Salak